Hello, Sean at Edge FPV back again with the Rooster build, my blue Rooster. I'm gonna kind of go through this, what components I've used on it and how I kind of set it up at the very beginning here. I kind of jumped ahead a little bit on here. There's not really a whole lot to do on this one. I am gonna go with the race flight one on this one. So yeah, all three of the frames that I'm building have different ones all together, but this is the race flight and bolt and revolt that I got from the quad box. So I'm gonna go ahead and give them a shot and throw them into here. But all I've done on here so far is just kind of set up all the motors are already soldered in. I've got my meshing already on all the wires for the motors themselves to match it all up with the blue. I do have my power leads hooked to the power port, and I did unpin and do the X4R SB receiver, so that's already done up, ready to go. I have the antennas out of the back here. I still have to do the tubes correctly as well too. I am going to heat those up and bend them out to a 45-degree angle to make a full 90 at the end of here. Yeah, I am going to use that back plate that they come with there, so I think it'll work pretty good for me for what I want to do. Using the RunCam Swift 2 for the camera on this one. One thing I will say is it doesn't have the bottom screw here for sliding back and forth, so I will have to tighten that down once I get it to 30 degrees. It moves pretty easy, but not really easy. I think it'll be fine the way it is. And I still have to cover all these up with blue wires as well too. But I just kind of wanted to show you this before I put the flight controller on, what I've done. I did do the two capacitors that it came with, sticking upright. It sits right up against the frame when you put it up here, so it will just kind of sit right like that. I might hot glue it to make sure that I have a good solid connection underneath here so it doesn't sit there and rock and bend. It should hold it up pretty well if I do it like that. There's not much really to do on the bolt itself, other than just kind of doing the capacitors, the power leads. I do still have to do the power lead for the Tramp HV and the camera, so that's the only other thing that's going to get soldered to this. I am going to go directly to the solder connections here, but I do have to kind of basically put the wires together so they match up and then just go right to it. It is gonna, you have your yellow for your video. I am gonna use the audio as well too on here, so everything should work out pretty well on it. But and again, I'm gonna have the smaller cord here for the controls for the camera. I don't know if I'm gonna go through this loop, but just kind of showing you that I do have it on there. Other than that, it's pretty much set up, ready to go. Race flight's really nice about that. You can just solder it to the board. I mean, really all I'm going to have to do is just solder up the receiver and the control wires for the Tramp onto this part of the board, and then of course plug the plug-in on the bottom of it here for controls to the bolt itself. So there's not really a whole lot to do on these ones. It does make for a really easy build. This is the first race flight I've used, so I'm excited. I'm interested in it. It should be pretty nice build. I've heard a couple complaints on this, but I don't know. I haven't had any problems with it yet because I haven't gotten it in the air, but it should be an interesting board. I'm I'm just excited to try it out. You know, I want to try each one of the different programs that there are out there. You know, I do the KISS ones, I do the beta flights. This is my first race flight. We'll try it out, see how it works. You know, it might work fantastic. A lot of other people have said that it's just, you know, right out of the box, you load it up, it's ready to go, you fly it, you don't even really have to mess with PIDs or anything. So I'm excited to try it and see how it is. So anyway, I will go ahead and get the rest of this stuff kind of buttoned up, and I will show you what it looks like after I get that done. And we'll go through where the wires go on here, and also which solder points you need to actually bridge on this portion of it right here. So if you can kind of see that, it's got several different bridges for each UART. So, you know, whether you're using 5 volt or 3 volt, and also, you know, whether it's non-inverted or inverted. So I gotta make sure that I get those right for what I'm plugging into which port. So anyway, I will go ahead and get that done, and then I'll show you what that looks like on the bottom here before I actually put it on, because that goes on the bottom of it. And then I'll show you where I put my pins for each one of the, you know, for the X4R SB and also for the Tramp HV. So should be a pretty easy build. I'm basically done already. I mean, there's really not that much soldering more to do. It's more cosmetic that I got to do, and like I said, I'm trying to shorten these videos up a little bit, because like my last one was 55 minutes. That's quite a long video, and I apologize for that, but wanted to make sure I showed you everything I possibly could on that one. So anyway, we'll get going on this, and I'll let you know. Okay, I'm going to see if I can try to show you this. This is definitely not my best soldering job. So if you are using FR Sky, any of the X4R SB or XSR or anything like that, then you're going to want to do the 5 volt bridge there. You're going to want to do the inverted connection here. The other pad here is for uninverted, and then do the same on these as well too. You want inverted here and 5 volt there. So, and then I have already tinned it on the other side. So this is going to be your ground, your power, and then your S-bus signal, and then this one is going to actually be your smart port. So the next one up here, this TX4, that's actually going to be for your video. If you're using the Tramp, that's going to be your port for your telemetry, so you can use that one there. So, and then we also have VBAT up here if you're going to be using that off the camera. I'm going to go ahead and connect mine up to that one as well too, and that should be about all the soldering you have to do on this board itself. So there's several different pins. They're all labeled on the back, they're not labeled on the front, so it makes it a little bit difficult to determine where you're putting them. Just pay attention to where they're going, and basically, you know, kind of do what I did, where you just solder the ones that you're going to work on first, and then I'll do the fourth one there for the video later, so I just know which one that one is. Just like the VBAT battery one should be this one here. So if you flip it over, yeah, so just kind of pay attention to where you're looking at and just make sure that you do it right. So okay, I'm going to get that done, and then I'll show you the rest of the wiring up. So I got everything wired up here, and this is basically like what I was showing you for the transmitter. And again, I'm using the X4R SB. So you got your signal wire, your power wire, your black wire, and then this one white wire right here is actually going to the video transmitter itself, and then the other white wire up there, that one is the one that's going to the receiver itself for your S port or smart port. So, and then we have the VBAT terminal there, and then these are the wires for video and audio, and then also the power wire here where they're spliced together from the camera and to the video transmitter itself, and then directly into the battery itself here. So I did do up the video transmitter as well too, like that, so I will be able to stick that to the top plate, and yeah, it just kind of folds over this way, and it's going to just kind of sit right up in there like that. So, and then I'll also zip tie it to the top of it. I did actually hot glue the capacitors on the bottom here to give it a little bit more support so they don't move as easy. So I think that'll work pretty good that way. I know it adds a little bit of extra weight, but not too much, but they're pretty glued in there. I don't think I'm going to have any problems with that one there. So the only thing left I have to do on this is basically do my XT60 connection. I just haven't decided how far up I'm going to go with it, and then we'll basically just fire it up. I do need to put the nuts on the top here, but other than that it's pretty much ready to go. So I'll get this XT60 connection up. I just wanted to show you inside the wiring portion of it before I put the top plate on, and then you wouldn't be able to see this. So we'll get going on this, and then we'll show you the finished product. Well, here we are, all done up, ready to go. So got the XT60 connection on there, got the wire tubes bent the way that I wanted it to. So I just kind of heat them up and then bend them at a 45-degree angle, which should make my 90 on there. So yeah, everything turned out pretty good. But there's the blue rooster for you. And I do like the way I didn't show myself plugging in the battery on here, because basically you on race flight you just plug it into the USB, you go through the setup procedure, it tells you when to plug it in. I did that, everything came up just fine, it updated the firmware on everything and detected my controller, detected my video transmitter. It just pretty much did everything on its own, so wasn't really much for me to show or do on that part of it. So if you just follow the steps on it, it works pretty well. So yeah, I'm kind of liking the race flight thing. It's kind of nice that way. We'll see how it works in a hover and how it works on actual flights. But yeah, this didn't turn out to be too bad of looking of a quad. Still, I'm not really liking the room inside of here. It's pretty tight all the way around. The two capacitors, I mean, that's kind of a race flight thing, so that's kind of my deal there. But you know, maybe I'll get the NOS stickers or something like that to put on those. But just wasn't expecting them to stick out that far and stuff. The camera mount on this, it's a little funky. Like, that's roughly about my 30 degrees, and that's almost all the way down, so kind of different on that part of it. But overall it turned out pretty good, about what I expected on it. So we'll just have to see how it flies and see if I really like it or not. But pretty nice looking quad, I'm happy with it. So one thing I didn't mention is on this particular one I went with the T-Moters, the Air 40s is what they call them. They're a 2450 kV motor, and I run the pink ones on my wife's quad, and they work pretty good. They're not like high powered punch out ones or anything like that, but I think they do pretty good. We'll just have to see how they work on this one. This one's definitely a lot heavier than hers is. So on that note, we will go ahead and weigh this up and see what it weighs with the battery, GoPro, everything else on it like that. Props, ready to fly basically. So slap her down on here. See if I can get it to show here. Showing 630. Oh, let's zero that out. So 627. So it's actually a little lighter than the Reverb. Could be all my shielding and stuff on it, but let's just make 100% sure here. Yeah, 626. Zero out one more time. 627, so right around that range. So, but not too bad of a quad all around. But yeah, here in just a second I'll go ahead and do a test flight on it so you guys can see it as well too. And then in my next video I'll do a rundown of all three of them and let you know what I'm thinking on them, and then hopefully the weather will clear up and then I can actually go fly these instead of just doing the test hovers in the backyard. So I apologize for that. It's just been super windy or really cold or snowing or raining. I haven't had a chance to do anything really at all. So we will get this done. One thing I did forget to note as well too, I did put the other camera control right in the same spot I did on all the other ones, so I can set my settings and stuff up with that. So just an idea. It's just kind of nice to be able to just hop in there and change my settings, change my name, all that stuff like that. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and all three of these are built, and we'll do a review, and we'll do a test hover here in just a minute. Alright, another cold and windy day again, so we're going to try to do a test hover on the Rooster, my blue Rooster today. So we'll go ahead and give it a shot. This is on race flight, so I've never done this one before, so this should be an interesting hover test. Hopefully it doesn't take off on us. We'll see. Here we go. Got the lens cover. Alright, here we go. Uh-oh. There we go. Wow, that's quiet. Like I said, these aren't like the most powerful motors in the world or anything, but that flies pretty nice. really quiet too. Very stable. I apologize for the construction noise if you hear that over there. You can definitely tell this is a pretty light unit. Yeah, I'm liking it. Feels pretty good. Looks pretty good. Doesn't have a ton of punch to it, but it's pretty good. I just can't believe how quiet it is for a 5-inch. Look how steady that is. Unbelievable. See how it lands. I'm kind of curious. That's a little different. Not bad. So yeah, pretty good test hover on that one. So I think that'll work, and we'll continue on from there. So thanks guys for watching, and like, subscribe, and we'll get her up in the air as soon as we can.